Hi everyone, welcome to this online demonstration of hh2 Web Services. My name is Kevin Hadley. I'm the sales director here at hh2 Web Services, and I'm going to be presenting two separate modules that we offer here at hh2 Web Services. Those modules will be hh2 Remote Payroll and the hh2 Field Reports modules. And we appreciate you taking time out of your day to join me for this online demonstration. I'm going to take about the first 5 minutes telling you a little bit about hh2 Web Services, a little bit about our technology and where we came from as a company, and our integration with Sage 300 Construction and Real Estate, formerly known as Timberline. So I appreciate you joining me today, and look forward to showing you what we have to offer. First and foremost, just wanted to cover very quickly what we offer here at hh2. Our business model as a company is to offer software as a service, or a SaaS model. In today's vernacular, you probably hear it more in regards to cloud services. And we've been doing this for a number of years as a third-party developer with Sage. And so what that means to you and your IT professionals there at your offices is that there's really no infrastructure that you need in your office to use hh2 Web Services. In fact, the only thing that we need to install on your database is what we call our sync tool or sync client. One of our first meetings with our clients, we set up this sync tool on the same server that your Timberline or Sage 300 resides on. We do this in our initial sync. We begin pulling in all of your jobs, cost codes, pay IDs, employees, certified classes, unions, GLs, anything with which you might be using to code to out in the field or on your jobs. And we stay up to date on a regular basis, actually on a nightly basis with Sage through that sync tool. Typically, we'll set it up to run at midnight, or you can set it up to run on an hourly basis. And we also have the capabilities on our website for you or somebody in the office, once you have put something into Timberline, such as a new job, a new employee, or a new cost code. And if you want it immediately available to your guys in the field, you would just put that into Timberline, do a manual sync on our hh2 website. That will sync it up to our servers and allow your guys in the field to code to that new job or cost code that you have here. And so anyway, it's a very nice, lightweight tool, but also very powerful in that it has that tight integration with Sage product there in your offices. All right. Some of the advantages of why a lot of our customers have chosen to go with hh2 is the affordability of our products. We wanted to make this enterprise software available for Sage Timberline users of all shapes and sizes. And we have companies of all shapes and sizes. Many of our companies are anywhere from 25 to 100 employees, and some of them are as large as 1,500 employees. So again, any company can afford to use our software and services. We'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the demonstration as I show you our online pricing. It is very easy to set up and deploy. There is no software to install. And as I mentioned earlier, the only thing that we do install on your system to be able to sync with Timberline is this synchronization tool. Your guys in the field, all they need is a web browser. Whether you are using a tablet, a laptop, or a desktop, they can simply use the online browser. Now, you can use Google Chrome, you can use Internet Explorer, and you can use Safari. Those are the ones that we recommend with our software. Now, if you happen to be using an iOS device, such as an Apple iPhone or iPad or iPad mini, we have developed some additional applications for those devices. However, as I mentioned, if you happen to have an Android device, we support Android on the web only at this time. There is no networking for your IT to worry about at all. Again, everything and all of the work is being done on our servers. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. Why hh2 has been a great fit for the Sage Timberline community is the fact that we were born out of a general contractor. We understand timberline, and we also understand the construction industry. We did branch our company off of this general contractor. We still have a great relationship with that contractor, and of course nowadays we have well over 600 of our modules in use among the Sage community and growing every single day. And so we've, over the years, gained a lot of great detailed knowledge and best practices about Sage integration and about user interfaces, because we know ultimately if your guys in the field don't like the system, have a hard time using it, then they're not going to want to use the product, and you're going to be quickly disappointed and quit our services. And so we take pride in having a great user interface for your employees. Again, we do more than just remote interfaces. We also set up in our system the ability to configure approval paths, many different levels of approval should you so choose, and many different types of configurations. We can even limit job and cost code and employee control. As I mentioned earlier, we have a great UI in regards to our software, and your guys out in the field will really like doing it, and also reporting capabilities in our software as well. Again, I mentioned this earlier, our business model is great for companies of all shapes and sizes among the Sage CRE community. The opportunity and what we're going to talk about today is really about capturing time and information from your remote job sites and how to better manage those job sites, keep detailed notes in regards to field reporting, daily logs, etc. So we're going to talk a little bit about those two modules. We actually have 4 different modules from hh2. Today we're just covering 2. We have a field service module that works with Sage Timberline Service Management. We also have the remote payroll. That's the one we're going to cover today, so I won't spend a lot of time there. We also have a very nice human resource module that we offer for gathering additional and keeping track of additional employee records, enterprise management programs. Employees can log in, view their pay stubs online, many other features that we have available, keeping track of certifications and trainings, etc. And then the other module that we are going to talk about today is our field reports module. It's an online management of daily logs. Very simple. This product, should you so choose, also integrates very seamlessly with Sage project management. So we'll talk a little bit about that as we move on. But again, I hope the key takeaway that you'll have today from viewing this online demonstration is how hh2 Web Services can help your company become more profitable by streamlining and automating your payroll and your field reporting processes. Again, I appreciate you attending today. This is my information. If you need to get in touch with me directly, just simply send me an email at khadley@hh2.com or give me a phone call on my direct line. It's 801-683-7202. Again, I appreciate you joining me here today. Now, let's get out of this presentation and go right to our website. So as soon as you become a customer of hh2, we set up your own unique hh2 website. This one simply says demo.hh2.com. If you're a construction company such as Hogan Construction, maybe you would just list hogan.hh2.com. Your logo would go here, and all your employees would need to do to log in is put in their username, and I'm going to sign in today as one of, let's say that I'm a superintendent. Now, while I'm here and typing in my password, I will mention this. Again, because of our configuration, you can have individual employees code time, both on the iPhone, the iPad, and also on the website. You can also have superintendents coding time for other individuals. You also have project managers that can review, make changes, and move that time up to the payroll manager level. And then, of course, you've got your payroll managers that can review the time and make changes as they see necessary also. So we'll talk a little bit about each of those levels. But for today's demonstration, I'm going to take it from a perspective of a superintendent out at the job site coding time for his employees. And we're going to do the website first, and then I'll show you a brief demonstration of the apps that we use in iOS. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But let me share with you about this particular time card in hh2. There's two separate ways in which you can code time in our software. One is called an employee timesheet, where I'm noticing or seeing one employee at a time. We also have what's called a daily timesheet, where I can record time on a daily basis for my group of employees. So instead of seeing one employee, I'm now seeing multiple employees across the top. I'm seeing some of the jobs and cost codes down the side that I've previously coded to. The nice thing about our software is the fact that we're able to save this information so that every week your manager doesn't have to go in and reload the jobs or reload the cost codes on them. If he's actually finished with a code, all they need to do is delete that certain code off their time card and then refresh it. And as you can see here, we only have those codes now available. Now, the question is often asked, where do the jobs and where do the codes come from? If you remember back in speaking about the synchronization client that we have, these come directly from Timberline. The other question I often get on demonstrations is, do you show all of the cost codes that are available for that job? And the answer to that is no. But we allow you to choose the cost codes that you're actually using, because you don't necessarily want to see every cost code at that time. So on the large high school, for instance, if this crew started working on something new this week, it's as simple as clicking down here on the Add Jobs, going to my job list, as you can see here. Again, if I want to, I can even limit what jobs this manager sees or this superintendent. So I'm going to choose the large high school. Here I can search for cost codes, things that I want to look on. If I want to say we're doing some doors today, I can simply type in the word door and it will give me access to any of those cost codes that have doors in them. So we're going to say doors, frames, and hardware today. We're going to click finished. Now we're only inherently showing those cost codes associated with that job within Timberline that have a category of L or labor associated with them. You can also see down here if I needed to change the certified class or category or shifts, we support that as well as unions in our software. So you can see how quickly I can add. There's the new code that I have down there. And let's say that Amanda Banks here, the first one online on Monday, worked 4 hours doing footings and 4 hours doing doors. And if Jake worked 4 hours or 8 hours there, and we had several other individuals doing that as well, I can just simply type in these boxes. Now, these boxes that you see here represent pay IDs in Timberline, such as regular pay and overtime. You can do regular, overtime, double time. You can code time to per diem, mileage, sick, vacation, whatever pay IDs you as a company want to set up or support in Timberline, we actually pull those over, and then you can decide what you want to give your field staff access to. We'll show you a couple of different scenarios there. If a few of the guys actually worked on other jobs with this superintendent or crew manager during the day, I can put time into those. Maybe the next 3 guys worked 4 hours and 4 hours on each of these different jobs. And possibly if Joe happened to have been late today, I can actually put in 7 hours for Joe and throw in a comment in there that that Joe showed up late today. That way, somebody in the office, when the time comes in there, will be able to see if Joe at the end of the week doesn't have a full 40 hours, somebody in the office is going to be able to take a look at that and see why he's only got maybe 39 hours at the end of the week. So those are some of the features. The question I often get as well is, what if an individual works on multiple jobs for multiple superintendents in the week or in the same day? It's very simple. Up here you see this little eyeball. If I want to see if these employees have time on any other job sites, I can click on this and it will list any time. It will list the time that I have for them currently today. But if somebody else had coded time for them, I could see it as well in here. It would just list it under another job site. Okay, so it's a very handy tool to see if that employee, or if I'm coding time correctly to an employer, if he has time on somebody else's job site. If I have multiple employees, more than what I'm showing here on the screen, it's very easy to add employees to my list. We come up here to our group members list, click on that icon, and then go to all my employees. Again, employees, if you want to limit your group as to what employees they have access to, you can do that in our system. But as you can see here, I can type in the employee name or part of their number, or I can just go down and scroll down the list here and say we're going to add, Grant Farnsworth to our list today. Click finished, and now when I look on my list on the next sheet, there is Grant's name that appears here, and I can start coding time for other individuals. Now that's on a daily basis. If I wanted to do it daily, I've shown you how to add jobs, add some comments at the bottom. Let's go back to that employee timesheet for a minute, and let's go to Amanda Banks. Let's say I've got a group or a crew of employees that do the exact same thing. And we'll say that the rest of the week, Amanda worked 8 hours the rest of the week, and we wanted to copy Amanda's time card to other people on my crew. I can come up here, hit the copy feature, and we'll just copy it to some people in the bottom of our list. We'll take these last 4 and add them. So we're going to copy her time to 4 other employees. We just apply and close, thus saving some time for your manager out in the field. So when we go to these other individuals' timesheets, Jesus, for instance, actually, let's go into Jesus here and look at his time card real quick. We'll come in here and we can see that Jesus has now the exact same time card. Let's say, however, that he may have worked some overtime, unlike Amanda, and you wanted to put some overtime for the week. So we'll put an hour of overtime. Also throw in a comment that he had to stay late. So he stayed late, finished some work. So now on this employee time card, you see 40 regular hours and 1 hour of overtime. Now, some of the other functionality and features that a lot of people like as well. Let's go to Jake Bass, for instance, on his time card, and let's put some time in there for Jake for the rest of the week. Let's say on Friday, Jake decided to take a vacation day, and you're a company that allows the foreman to code to a vacation pay ID. Well, in here, we can come into this area and add this no job area. Some companies code to a job. Other people do not. They just want it to go to the employee record. So I just added that. Let's go to our personal pay IDs. And you can see now I'm seeing, instead of 2 boxes, I'm seeing 4. The pink is showing vacation, green sick, the orange is per diem, and the gray is mileage. That pay type legend is down here, so if your guys are confused as to what they're seeing. Now, since I'm going to do time for the vacation for Friday, we'll put 8 hours in there, and we'll just say that he took the day off. All right, so again, just putting some notes in there. I don't have to do that, but just showing you some different functionalities. So this employee has 8 hours of vacation, 32 hours there. If this employee also happens to get per diem, maybe we'll just go put 1 unit of per diem You can even put dollars in here if you want. Depends on how you've set up the pay ID in Timberline. So now we've got a few unique things on Jake's time card. You can kind of see that there over in the bottom right hand corner, 32 regular hours, 4 units of per diem, and 8 hours of vacation time. So that gives you a good feel for what an employee can do, or a superintendent. Again, this is the weekly timesheet, daily timesheet here. If I wanted to go to today's date, I can just click on that button here. You'll see that I've already got time in there for some employees. Again, one more review. If I have some other employees that did the exact same thing, boom, I can just put in their time there. All right. So showing you how to add the time there. You'll notice up here some of these boxes. If you're a company that types in a description of the work, Timberline allows you to import up to 25 characters in there if you want to do it. We also support miscellaneous 1 and miscellaneous 2 fields on a particular unit. If you're a company that also does time for pieces of equipment, you can also come into here, go into the equipment entry screen, and instead of coding time for an employee, you can actually code time for pieces of equipment. So as you see here, it's picked the job here for me, the pieces of equipment that are on my site. Let's just go to today's date, the 27th, and say that we used the backhoe for 8 hours, the other backhoe for only 4, but the dozer we used for 5.5 hours. So you can see that we have the ability to code time to, or revenue to, our pieces of equipment. So I just wanted to show that quickly. We don't have a lot of customers that use that particular functionality in the system, but it is available. So that just shows you the ability to code time for an employee. Now, while I'm at it, I'm also going to show you our iPad app that's available for the Remote Payroll program. It's very similar to the iPhone. It's just smaller, of course, on the iPhone. In just a second here, I'm going to start to mirror my iPad on the screen for you. All right, that should come up here real shortly. All right, you should be able to see that on your screen. As you can see here, we've got several apps that we have here at hh2 Web Services. And in here, you can see that this is our app, okay? I've already gone in here and configured this app for Grant Farnsworth, as you can see up at the top. And then I have a period end date that I could choose. I can go previous or next. I'll use it on the same week just to save time. Here's a couple of different areas in which we can add time to the system. Now, as you can see here, it's already pulled over hours from the previous day. And I apologize, I just did another demonstration in which it brought over some of the other time from that demo. There we go. So that looks a little bit better. So it pulled all of this information from the website. So the iPad is actually syncing with our hh2 site there. The nice thing about having this app is it's a native app to the iPad. And what that means is it can be used offline. So if you've got an employee that's either wandering around a job site that doesn't have very good connectivity, or he is not around the router or any Wi-Fi or 3 or 4G capabilities, he can still use it and code time. You can see here, if I go down the list of employees there's Blake Beeman's time. I've got Jake Bass's time. We had some comments down there at the bottom for Jake. But it lists all of some of this other time that we have here. This unspecified code was to, we actually didn't put that per diem to a particular code there on that job. And then we've also got some 8 hours of vacation that was put toward an unspecified job there. So you can see how that's done. Now, if I wanted to finish on my iPad, time for Blake Beeman, this is how quickly I can do it. Up in the upper right-hand corner, you can see that I've got this add time function. I can come in here and choose the dates that I want to add time for. All right, so I can come in and add time for, let's say, Friday, Wednesday, and Tuesday. All right. And we're going to go do our pay type, and we're going to choose the regular pay ID. And we'll say that you just worked 8 hours on each of these various cost codes. So let's just say that he was doing concrete reinforcement. Again, we support category, certified class, GLs, etc. But let's just go ahead and add that time there. All right, and let's dismiss it there. So now you can see that we've got 40 hours now for Blake Beeman um, on our job site there. All right, so just showing you how to add some time in there. For those companies that are interested, we also have the capability of doing start and stop times for the whole crew, and also if they've taken a break. And if I want to take that and apply my attendance features to a whole group, I can actually come over here to my attendance screen, choose the days of the week and the individuals that I want to apply this time to. All right, so that's one way of being able to set up time there. So I showed you how to add time. There is another screen that looks much like our website, but it's the time card view on the iPad app. And you can, again, once again, see that this information came over on Amanda Banks. And if I just want to scroll through my employees, I just click on the next tab there, and it went to Jake Bass. And again, I can keep going across there and being able to see this information on the various time cards. So you can see that information. Again, I have the same functionality I do on the web. I can copy time from one individual to the next. I can pre-fill time from the previous week, or if I happen to have chosen the wrong week, I can actually move the time to a different time period. So again, a lot of different functionality there. I won't be able to show you the entire app just due to the sake of time, but it gives you a good feel for what we do. If I want to go through and approve some of this time, I can go here as a manager. Since I'm the one who put in the time, I know and understand, what that employee is doing, and I can approve it and unapprove the time there. You saw a little checkbox that came over here. I can approve, deny, or promote or reclaim the time at my particular level. One of the other features that a lot of people are starting to use now, and again, you can see that I've already captured a couple of signatures. If I'm required at the end of the week to get the employee's signature, if I click on Blake's name, I might pull the employee over to me and say, Blake, here's your time for the week. I've got you down for a total of 40 hours of regular time. Does that sound good to you? This little approval agreement is something that you'll type into the system and will be unique to your company. And we'll leave these boxes checked. If he unchecks them, he has to specify why. But again, for the sake of time, we'll just go ahead and put in here, and I believe that was Blake. And we'll just sign for Blake there and go ahead and hit finished. Okay, so now that's just recorded Blake's signature. And if I was a foreman and wanted to forward these signatures on to the team at the office, I can click up in the upper right-hand corner this PDF report. You can see that it prints it out here, the start and the end times of the week that I've chosen. It shows the hours that I'm signing off on here on the quote. And anyway, that just shows you how the signature portion works. All right, so that gives you an idea of what we do on the hh2 iPad app. Again, it looks the same way on the phone, but just smaller. Okay, we'll go ahead and get out of that application for right now and stop mirroring the iPad there for a minute. All right, okay, let's go back to the website. I apologize. Hopefully that was beneficial to you. Let's go back in here as my manager, Grant, and let's say that Grant was just approving this on the website instead of approving it on the iPad. Okay, so we'll come into here. Grant sees all of the employees in his on his list. It looks like he didn't code time for about 5 employees this week. Grant's the one who put in the time, and it shows the pay IDs and the totals over here. Grant's pretty solid on the time here, so he says, you know what, I want to go ahead and approve this time and push it up to the next level for review. Now, one thing to note about that, however, as soon as I put any time in hh2, the people up above me, especially the payroll admin and office personnel, can see immediately if there is time in hh2. And that's a great feature that a lot of companies really like, especially those companies that are looking to make sure that their guys are doing time on a daily basis. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in as a project manager. As I mentioned on the demo, I have this time going from a supervisor to a project manager to the payroll department. So let's log in as the project manager. The project manager comes in here, looks at the time approval screen, and the project manager is going to see any time that has been recorded for his or her jobs. All right. And if there's several different groups or other people coding time, he can see those over here. But he'll see all of the employees. There's a couple things he can do right here. He can look at the comment section that on Friday, Jake Bass had taken the day off, which is why Jake has some vacation there. If he wants to see where Amanda has coded her time, I can click on the eyeball, look through each day of the week, and I can see all of that individual time. I might also want to find out, well, who has overtime? And it looks like Jesus has some overtime. So let's go ahead and just look at that real briefly. I come down here, see that on Friday he has some overtime. I want to find out why they had to stay late. Now, if I don't want to just simply go down this report, I can also do an Excel workbook. And we put it in an Excel file so you as a company can sort and filter however you would like. So we're going to go download this file. We're going to open that file up for you. And as you can see here, here's all of the time by who coded it, the job number, job name, the employee number, the employee name and the cost code, the pay type used, and the total number of units. Again, if I want to take this and filter it by these certain, because oftentimes a project manager is looking more at the codes that are being used. So if I wanted to sort it there, we'll just sort it there from top to bottom. So we've got, doors and that as first. If I want to look at the total number of hours, I just come here on doors, look down here at the bottom, and I've got 44 hours going to this cost code this week. Okay, so as a project manager, you can keep tabs on how much time is being put to each individual code and look at it there. Now, if I looked and viewed that report and wanted to make any changes, I could come in, go into Amanda's timesheet, and if given the correct permissions, I may say I don't want Amanda coding to doors and frames anymore. I'm going to take that time out and I'm going to actually put her hours, all of her hours, toward footings. That's up to you as a company. You can also decide if the only thing the project manager can do is even deny the time and push it back down to the level for proper coding. It's up to you. Anyway, just kind of showing you some of the functionality that the PM might have. Reviewing the time, looking at it, looking at the eyeball, seeing comments, making changes. If this manager is happy with the time, he could approve everybody at one time, or you can just simply approve one by one. And I'll just do that. And I'm going to leave two people, one person actually. We'll leave one person unapproved so you can see what it looks like at another level. Okay, so I'm going to log out as the project manager. Now I'm going to log in as the payroll admin. So the payroll admin's in the office looking at all the time that's coming in here for the week on all of her job sites, and it depends on how you set up your company. But I go to look at the labor approval screen as the payroll admin, and you can see here that the payroll admin sees that there's time for Grant Farnsworth job sites. Again, if you have other different levels, you can look at them one by one or look at everybody at the same time. Now, the payroll admin notices that there's time in the system for this employee, but it has not been approved. If I want to see where that time is stuck at, I can click on the eyeball here, look at my approval summary, and see that the only person that has approved time for Amanda this week is Grant, level 1, meaning this project manager has not approved it. Well, if you don't have time to wait for your project manager, you can promote that time to your level as a payroll admin and go in and make changes to it. The same thing with this time, because as you remember, as a project manager, the project manager didn't have to approve the vacation time or the per diem because neither one of them were going to his job. So I'll promote that time. What that does is tie that time card all the way in there together. Again, shows me all of the pay IDs that are being used for the week. I can see individual comments that have been taken place. I can see why this employee only has 7 hours. They showed up late. A lot of things. The payroll admin also has the ability to make changes. So if they wanted to come down here and decide that, hey, Jesus, we want to take that overtime and take it out of that particular cost code, move it to another code. Again, as a payroll admin, you have ultimate approval and the ability to make those changes. All right. So we've still got overtime, but we put it to a different code. So you'll see how that's done. Now, one of my favorite parts of doing these online demos is showing payroll admins who have spent years mindlessly hand coding all of this information back into Timberline when she could simply use an export from our system and import it into Timberline. So we're going to do that export right now. And while that's putting that together, again, our very first time when we meet with our clients and we do our first import with them after they've coded time for the week, it's always a thrill because the expression that the payroll admins have from not having to hand key all of this in, it's all done right here for you. This CSV file that you see here on the screen, you will take that file, save it somewhere, either on your desktop or to another file. You'll open up Timberline, Payroll, Import, Tools, and then you'll just import the file that you've saved right directly into Timberline. Everything is going to pull up on the register and everything's going to look great for you, just like you were in the time entry system in Timberline. You can go in, review any of the time that's gone in. If there happened to be one line item that's errored out, the nice thing about doing an import into Timberline is Timberline tells you why that particular line item was rejected. Did we have an incorrect pay ID that was not set up previously? Was it something else? So we walk through all of that with you on your import. Now, again, that's how easy it is to get time from the field using a web browser or an iPad or an iPhone or whatever your type of device you're using through an approval process into the home office for review and approval and to make changes, doing your import and simply importing that into Timberline. Now, one of the other features that a lot of people like as well in here is our labor detail report. So if you're payroll admin, instead of going one by one or showing you the Excel spreadsheet, as soon as you start coding time in hh2, we record all of that time and we never delete your data. So if you came in here and were needed to search a year ago for an employee's record of time, in here you can choose the employee, the job, the code, the date range. And so we're just going to do a quick date range of the time that we did today on the demonstration. And I'm going to run that report without putting in any filters. And you can see how quickly that report is being put together for me. And here I see all my employees. There's Amanda. There's Jake Bass. If I wanted to see the comment on Jake, he took the day off on that Friday. A lot of our payroll admins love this report because they like to set it on one screen as they review the other screen in hh2, just to quickly go down and see if there's anything that they may have missed. Okay, you can print this report out. You can email this report to someone if you need to. You can download it to Excel or simply print it to PDF, or just print it to your printer if you want to as well. Okay. Again, some very nice handy tools. I've probably forgotten some other functionality that you may use, but this gives you a good idea of what we do here at hh2 in regards to payroll. Now, one of the other things, you can do the same thing if you're coding time for pieces of equipment. It would just go through that same type of process, but due to the sake of time, I won't do that today. Some other real nice feature I'm going to take just a couple of seconds to kind of show you in regards to approval paths. One that I showed you today, we just called Grant Farnsworth job sites, where it went from a crew manager to a PM to the payroll admin. Some of the other demos I do, it shows it going from an employee to the crew manager to the PM or to the payroll manager. And some companies are very simple. They want to go right directly from the employee to the payroll admin. And other companies has several different payroll groups that have different levels of approval as well. So extremely configurable. We've been at this, as I mentioned at the beginning, a long time. Here's where you will set up your pay types, who has access to what pay types and such. And here's where you can start to limit people on what they do. I showed you Grant Farnsworth job sites. You can see in here what we want to allow them to see or do in the system. You can specify who managers are of that group, who the employees are in that particular group as well. This is where I can limit those employees. I can show my pay types. So if I want office personnel to see different pay types than the field guys, I can do that here. And if I only want to limit them, if I've got a guy that's going to be on a job for 6 months to a year, I may just say he only needs to see the large high school, and I would delete the other jobs or not give him access to that. Or if I wanted to see if he's a crew manager going to several different job sites during the week, I may want to give him access to all jobs so I don't have to manage this all of the time. Here's my codes. This also gives me the ability to go in and limit what cost codes a particular group might see as well. All right. We can limit cost codes. We can limit categories, GLs, departments, certified classes, shifts, unions. Again, you see a lot here in the software. That's the payroll module. Okay. I also mentioned to you I was going to show you the field reports module. We don't have a lot of time left, so let's quickly go through that. If I'm a manager and I want to create a daily log in the system, I can just go to this field reports tab. So again, you're in the same software. You're just clicking on a different tab or module that we have. And as you can see, I've already done a report for the day here on the 27th. If I wanted to look at that report, it's a superintendent report. And you can see here that we capture several different items that people gather. And this module actually synchronizes back with Timberline Project Management if you want it to. You do not have to have project management to use this module. We just have some companies that want to use it specifically for the activities or unit production. Okay, so we can gather the weather for the day, labor, subcontractors. So if I wanted to see what the weather was earlier that day from a previous demo I've done, I can look at that. I can capture the weather again. Currently it's at 3:15, etc., and save another weather entry for that day. My labor, if I look at my labor, it's already pulled over the labor from my remote payroll, since I've already done payroll on this job for the day. It pulls over all my employees there. If I've got a list of subcontractors who are on my job, they would be listed down there. Okay, I won't spend a lot of time on the website version because I'll be honest with you, most of our companies nowadays that are coming on board with us are actually turning to our iPad app. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you, I'll start showing my iPad once again. And I think you'll really like this application. A lot of our superintendents that are starting to use iPads out there in the field now really like this functionality. I'll tap on the field reports module there. And again, much like the payroll, I'll sign in as the manager. I can select the job. This is my job selector up in this area. Again, pulls up the list of jobs I have access to. I have my report types. Okay, so since I've already done a superintendent report for the day, let's say I wanted to do a new report, and I just wanted it to be just a general report um, for the day. So I can come in here and I can do a brand new report in here. So I'm going to click on the 27th. Down here at the bottom, you can see all of the tabs that we support. So you can see weather, labor, subcontractors, equipment, materials, activities, events, visitors, journal entries. The meeting tab is a little bit unique to hh2. There's no meetings tab in the Timberline project management, and nor is there any attachments. So these last two tabs are basically unique to our product. But if I wanted to update from weather.com, I can just click up on the update here. At this present job site, it's 37 degrees and it looks like it's snowing there. And I'll just go ahead and add that to my job site this afternoon. Okay. I can also go in here if weather.com is not correct, change the type of weather, change the temperature. I can do sky conditions, ground conditions, precipitation. I can write notes, various other things. But again, I won't take up too much of your time. The labor I can also pull over, and I can copy from the previous day. Um, I don't have any other labor on this particular day in this report. So let's just choose Jeff. Let's say that Jeff was on the job site 8 hours. I can put a comment. I'll just put test in here. And you can see that I can list those employees. Okay, we're just pulling from our employee list, being able to put them on the job. This is mainly just for companies. It's not to job cost anything because this does not push down to payroll. It's just for listing the employees that were on the job that day. I can also see my subcontractors. Again, if I wanted to copy over the subcontractors from the previous day, those subs will pull over, or I could choose from my list. We'll say the electric company showed up today. They sent 2 guys in here. They spent a total of 5 hours. I'll just come in here and say that they pulled wire and just type in there. So just keeping track of various subs. The question I also get here is, what if I have thousands of users in my address book in Timberline? How in the world is the guy going to search through those? Well, I can come in here and just type in, starting to do with a few letters in here, and maybe the Sutherland Distributing Company came by today, and they, sent a guy in, and he just spent a couple of hours. They dropped something off. Okay, so we'll just put that information in there. We'll add that sub. So we can add multiple subcontractors. Again, the nice thing is once you've already done this, you can hit copy and it'll bring those people over. Equipment, you can specify the equipment that was on the site, the meter reading if you want, how active, we had it run for 4 hours and it was idle for 4 hours, and I can just add that as well. Materials is for gathering materials that have arrived on the site, not materials used. We are looking at that functionality, but right now it's really stuff that's added on the site. So we'll say that we've got a ticket number there. We received the information at 12 o'clock today. We'll just say that we received some nails, and we received 50 boxes or whatever, or pieces. Okay, so we can put that information in there and just added some materials that have arrived on site. Now, the activities tab, oftentimes companies who are looking to put in unit production, this is where you would put that in. So if I did some footings today and I wanted to say we were 20% complete, and we poured X number of footings, etc. The description in there if I wanted to, and I can add that functionality. Again, with this information, once you finalize this report, and if you want it to go into project management, those unit production will go in, hit job cost, and update miscellaneous worksheets right in PJ. We've also got events that we can gather. Again, you can have something, maybe something started at 11 o'clock, and went through till 11:30. Um, and whatever time, maybe we had a quick safety meeting, um, talked about what we discussed. I'll just type in something simple there. So you can list events there. The visitors, I won't really do anything on. It's just listing the visitors that arrived on site. The journal entry is one that's used quite often. Okay, so I can specify the type that I want to put on here. Uh, let's go ahead and just say that we had a delay. And I'm going to, because you saw in the weather, it was snowing, right, at the location. So down here at the bottom, instead of hand typing all of this in, we can use the Siri functionality on the iPad. So we're going to click on that. Due to the weather today, we had to stop work on the job site. Okay, so you can see there that it recorded my voice, got the information in there, and again, I can do multiple entries during the day. This other tab is for meetings. If you want to specify a meeting that you held, the topic, stuff like that, you can enter that in. And then last but not least, you've got photos. So if I clicked on the Photos tab and said, hey, let's take a photo here, you'll see my credenza, and we'll just go ahead and use that. And again, I can take multiple photos if I want. And I always get the question from companies, Kevin, what if we take, hundreds of photos in a month? And that's just fine. We expect that. Our servers can handle that, of course. We have enterprise servers in our data center. And anyway, you can kind of see how easy it is to add the attachment there. Now, if I wanted to finalize this report, I could, and add my own signature to the report. Also up at the top, you can see I can create a PDF of this particular report that I've created. If I come in here to my PDF settings, it allows me to create. So up in the upper right-hand corner, it says Create. I will say I want every single tab that I just used today. So I've got all my labor, my subs, my equipment, everything that I filled out there, even my attachments. And if I was required or needed to quickly send this into someone or send it to someone, I can email it directly from my iPad. It pulls it in as an attachment already, and I just type in the email address and send it off. Okay, very, very simple. We'll just go ahead and delete that draft. You'll see that I can open it in other programs, or I can print it directly from here. The nice thing is, the next question often people will ask is, what if, is this stored only on the iPad? Does it sync with your website? And the quick answer to that is yes. So if we come back over to our website, and we're going to go ahead and refresh in here, and now you can see we've got 2 reports down here for the 27th. I've got a superintendent report, and what I just did for you on the iPad today was a general field report. If I wanted to pull that up, it pulls in all my information. You can see each one of these tabs are filled out with what I did on the iPad, okay? And so in the office, I can take a quick view of what was entered in there on this particular report. I can also take this and download it into Excel. I can print myself out PDF of this particular report, but probably more importantly, I might want to search my daily logs. So I might want to come into here, put in a date range, specify a job, and say, show me all reports that have been done on this job for this specific period of time, and that possibly has a keyword. So if I want to search for a keyword that might be in that report, I can type in a keyword, search, and if I wanted to search all my reports or for that date range, it will pull in any report that has that keyword in it. So again, very handy. A lot of people like this functionality. Again, it allows you to, if I wanted to say, okay, show me for the last month all of the reports that have been done on all jobs, I just click on that. You'll see that it pulled in all of the information, showed me the job that was written on, the report type, and who it was modified by last. Okay, this one you can see has been finalized. It shows this little gavel and the block there means that that report's been finalized there. Okay, so anyway, it just gives you the ability to come in and search and go through the daily logs. So that's our daily log or our field reports module. Again, both of those that we've shown you here today are two of our top selling modules here at hh2. Now, last but not least, I always get the question, what about pricing? We're not bashful about our pricing. In fact, we'll brag about it on our website because we publish it. So if you need to see this pricing, just go to www.hh2.com, click on the particular module that you're looking at, such as Remote Payroll, and click on the pricing here. Now, as you can read up here, there are some setup fees. There's a cost for the module. There is a cost for training and implementation time, where we at hh2 will train you using GoToMeeting, just like we're doing today. And then there is a support fee once a year for each of the companies there. And when you want a quote, I'll put all that together for you and we can discuss that. So let's talk a little bit about the pricing. So if I were doing, if I had a company and let's say I had 45 employees and all 45 employees had a timesheet in hh2, coded time every week during the month, and I have 8 foremen that is coding the time for other employees, that's okay, because in hh2 we give you unlimited users. We don't charge you by the number of seats or usage or users. We charge you by usage. So if I had 45 employee time records, no matter how many times I export out of hh2, then I would simply pay $97.50 a month. If you're seasonal, like many companies that we have are, possibly in the winter months when things get a little bit slow, you may go down in your hh2 pricing. But in the summer months when things ramp up, you get more business, you're starting newer jobs, you may start to go, maybe this 45 employee company went to 65 employees. Well, the next month they'll be paying $42.50. And then if they happen to lay off a bunch of guys, maybe the following month they drop back down. So again, it scales based upon your usage of the system there. All right, so that's the remote payroll side. We also have the field reports that I showed you. You come in here, look at the pricing, and as you can see here, it's based upon the number of reports that are written. I did 1 report for you today. I had also done a previous report earlier today, which means that now as a company, I have 2 reports for that day. We just charge you by month. So quick math, let's say you have 5 jobs and you record a daily log on each of those jobs every day. So let's say for simple math, 20 days in a month, you would have 100 reports. We would end up charging you, if you had 0 to 100 reports, $50 in a month. Okay. Some of our companies, again, some of our heavy highway companies, etc., in the winter months, they're down around here. Summer months, they may climb all the way up to the 400 to 500 range and even higher. So again, it's really based on the number of reports that you write or your guys in the field create in a given month. Okay, hopefully that too comes with, there are monthly fees or there is a startup fee. Same thing for this module. However, as a company, you would only have 1 support fee because you'll be using our products and services, and that support fee is for all products. All right. As you were able to see, we also, again, as I mentioned earlier, we have other modules, human resources and field service. If you want to look at a quick demo, online demo of these things, they're about 5 minutes or less. You scroll down to the bottom of the website, look at those. You can look at some of the screenshots. You can contact us here. I am going to bring up for you my contact information again. I just want to thank everybody one more time for joining me today for this demonstration. There's my contact info. We'll bring it up on a little bigger screen. Kevin Hadley, khadley at hh2.com, my phone number. Feel free to contact us. I would love to do a one-on-one demonstration for you and your company because I have no doubt you probably have additional questions that I may not have answered on the demo. But thank you very much for your time. Hope you enjoyed the demonstration, and we look forward to talking to you and then working with you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.